I forgot the mic would pick up the headphones. That was smart. That was very, very smart. Yeah, what's happening, everybody? We're back. It's episode 18 of BLERDS N THE HOOD. I think it's part 2 of it. If you don't know who I am by now, my name's there. His name's there.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this right away. So obviously, you guys have been with us, and you know that the technical issues have been something that have been going on the regular. In this stage particular, trying to pre-play that video, we tried to switch back to OBS, which is a platform that's used in order to do streaming, and it seemed to stall out on us, which happens. I think. I'll speak for Jay at this point because I know he's still also a little riled up about this. That a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'll say this all to Jay. Jay worked his ass off trying to get this up and running. He streamed the whole thing yesterday in a test run and it worked fine. So for it to happen on show day is very frustrating just because it does seem to happen continuously. But there's a couple things. First of all, I want to thank you for your hard work, man. Like genuinely, we run into problems, you know, we brainstorm, but you're the one that headbutts through this shit. And I understand that it is getting very frustrating for you to continue to do this, to keep coming up with this stuff that we run into week after week. But I'm sure I can agree for everybody in the audience that's watching this video that they appreciate what we're doing and that your hard work is something that they're appreciating. It's the same thing that got us the interview in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, I know it seems like hollow words, especially from the standpoint of where you're at emotionally right now, but you do need to understand that what you're doing is incredible work and that all of this shit will sort itself out. We will get to the other side of this, honestly. I mean, from the same way, if you look at the comments that were happening, I did get a chance to look at some of them before we canceled the stream. People, again, are nothing but supportive. They're coming back to watch the interview. They're coming back to watch this episode. So there's nothing to worry about in that regard. We will figure out what's going on and we will tackle it. And it's one of those situations where we even maybe start looking to some of our homies as far as outside help to maybe help us troubleshoot some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe hitting up an RB3 and stuff like that. I know he pretty much helps set up that system that they have running over there as well and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So there are ways that we can go about it to try and further get us out of this hole.
First of all, thank you. First and foremost, thank you. I take that I say that sincerely. It is every time, you do stuff. I'm a Virgo. Now, I know you're like, why the hell are we going astrological? Virgos are known for being perfectionists, damn near. Uh-huh. And I know this won't be perfect, but I damn sure can make it as best as possible. When I came up with the idea initially of this, that initially started out as blurred and gold, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what it could be. I knew what it could grow into. So when we had the opportunity to shoot something for BLERDS N THE HOOD as a proof of concept, I was like, okay, we can do this. And I just kept wanting to believe in it. StreamYard came up. I was like, okay, cool. But then once it seemed like we got it, we got more problems along the way. So I went from back and forth between StreamYard and OBS, and StreamYard seemed the best. We're going on 5 months into this, and I think that is what upsets me the most.
5 months?
This is episode 18. We do the show weekly.
Yeah. Okay, I guess 4 months, yeah.
We're going into we'll be in solid 5 months with this. You would think it'd be done, and I understand that, yes, there are a million fucking people streaming at one time. I understand that. But that was the reason, because we could have kept doing it just like this no matter what. Mm-hmm. We could have just every episode been like this. Mm-hmm. That would have been easier, for lack of better words. Record it, edit it, add everything in I want to drop in, boom, upload it, it comes out on Tuesday. But there's something about being able to be live with it, to have people interact, that add an extra element. I say it with wrestling all the time. If you have 2 men in the ring, the third man is the audience. In a tag match, if you have 4 people in the ring, the 5th person is the audience. There are 3 members to BLERDS N THE HOOD. And the third is all the viewers and the listeners. I know, I should be looking more at the camera. I just get upset every single week because I feel like this is on me because, Winston knows this. I feel like I do all this. And I know you do you do what you can. I get it because I know your schedule. Yours is just as hectic as mine. And I feel like it's my fault. Setting up the cameras, setting up the lights, setting up the mics, setting up the program, everything. So, like, okay, this should run. And then when it doesn't, now I'm sitting here whining and crying like a bitch because something ain't going right. And it'd be a different story if it's just one time. It's every fucking week. It's every fucking week. And again, it's not you or anybody else. It's me upset at it because of what this is. Again, you're watching a pre-tape video. You're going to get the I'm going to chop the interview and you're going to get it at the end. So if you're expecting the interview with Justin Halpern, it was supposed to be at the beginning. It's going to get it at the end. Okay? I get frustrated. Now, people are saying, what about streaming Twitch? Well, I would have to possibly get another streaming software. Because clearly, I don't know if I can StreamYard to Twitch. If I can, maybe. But at the same time, the reason I was using OBS is because I wanted to play the entire Justin Halpern interview. That interview is 30-something minutes long. StreamYard allows you only to stream a video 5 minutes at a time. Which would mean we would literally have to be sitting here going click, click, click. And also, when you put videos in the StreamYard, it does not tell you which order you've put them in. So we would not know which is which. So it's why I took this route. And again, like Winston said, last night I did a full stream of the show in a private link to my laptop and my computer so I can see it. I'm on a desktop and I streamed to YouTube. I basically did a YouTube show and watched it, switching everything, and it all did it. And then now, when we go live, it was live, but when I go live to the public, nobody sees it. It's buffering all day. So it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if it's, oh, you're doing this from a PC and you need a Mac. I don't have that type of money to shell out for a Mac to make this better. I don't. Again, yeah, we could go back to doing it pre-recorded every single week. But there's a thing that comes with having y'all here.
No, and I agree with that. I think I mean, I'll say the same thing that I said at the top of this. And I think it's fine to air out how you're feeling the grievances. I think that's the thing. And so far, it's mainly been a situation where, again, I won't even say we because I wouldn't knock how much work you've been doing. It has been you trying to figure this out on your own. I just think we're at a situation now where, we have people in our lives that are also doing this. Now it's time to reach out and to tap those resources to help problem shoot this instead of just trying to muscle through it, which I understand a lot of that comes from, like you said, being a Virgo, so the perfectionist in you. I understand a lot of it comes from you being very independent as a person and making a way out of one that isn't there. But I think that this is a situation where we've now hit a point where we have to reach out and figure something else out. We have to figure out, the same way that a lot of people that are tech savvy will do what they can to fix their computer, but at a certain point you go to the Genius Bar and you try and have somebody else look at it and see if there's something that you missed.
Sorry, my OCD kicked in and I saw this.
No, it's fine. So I will tell you this: we're not going anywhere. I am a firm believer that we will get the streaming part figured out. I'm not worried about that. It is stressful for sure. I know it's more stressful for you, but we will figure that out. If for some bizarre reason we don't, the show is not going anywhere. It just means that we'll just have to switch our format. And does it take away a little bit of that potency? Sure. But that doesn't take away what we're actually here to do. This always has been and always will be a means for us to connect with people and to show another side of the culture that doesn't always get an opportunity to be shown.
And I think that's the thing too that hits me a lot with this. What the intent of this is. Anybody can just go on YouTube or Twitch or whatever and just stream some shit. Anybody can stream something and say, yeah, I'm going to talk about this and do that. And that's just like making a podcast. The intent in this was there's never been anything like this. The intent in this was there's never been anything like this with two people like us. And that I know that this can go further than just being on YouTube. I know what this can be on a bigger platform. Because why? I look around at all these other things that are out there and all these other things on these other platforms. And so I know that BLERDS in the Hood is something special. I wouldn't do this show with anybody else. I wouldn't.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, you know, just so you know, I just want to be like, you're fucking fired!
Well, you can't fire something that we co-created, but yeah, okay.
I created this shit.
No, we collectively came up with the idea.
I created BLERDS and Gold.
You created Blerd and Goal,
And
but
then
not this. We came up with this first, and we were trying to run a thing when my fucking camera broke.
Yeah, we remember all that shit.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Nah, we came up with this together. I'm not gonna let you just pretend like I ain't have something to do with this shit.
It's all mine. It's all me.
No.
Because he
No.
light-skinned.
Just because our asses weren't out there burning the sun does not mean that our asses were not getting whooped in the house. So hush your mouth. First of all, we came up with this bullshit together. yes, this bullshit came up with it together. The review shit, that was on you. You were the one that was like, "Do you want to do this review with me?" You can have that. But this, nigga, I was the one that was like, what if we came up with a nerdy Jesus and Meryl, my nigga? Don't even sit here and try and pretend. Don't even sit here and try and pretend like...
I don't like how you just came at me like a hostile black woman.
Well, yeah, because you ain't gonna fucking cookie lying me out the motherfucking empire, bitch. You kiss my black ass.
So my Lucius dad?
Apparently you are with your fictional Lucius ass.
Fictional Lucius. Lucius is already fictional. Then we'll go fictional.
What the fuck I'm talking about, nigga?
Anyway, yeah.
Nigga, make you salad, fucking nigga.
I wanted to...
We're gonna go to the stories. I'm tired of this shit. Where the fuck is my thing at?
Okay.
You got a story? We can talk about it last because you hate it so much. Why don't we talk about this one?
Okay, so I don't know if you've heard. So y'all president, that orange fuck muppet, decided to say that he is taking hydrochloroquine. Now, if you don't know what that is a lupus drug.
Malaria.
Malaria. I'm sorry. I thought what's the one that's for lupus?
They may use it for that too, but the main function is malaria.
Okay, but I know it was something about lupus.
I actually don't think it has to do with lupus because the one thing about hydroxychloroquine, and we're gonna get to this whole part of the story. It has side effects that can fuck with your heart.
Right.
So if you do not have a good heart, which is why lupus doesn't make sense to me, only because lupus is an autoimmune disease.
Okay, fair.
So the thing with hydroxychloroquine is that it genuinely can fuck your heart up. So for him to take it, where the dig came, why don't you go ahead and play the video? Play the video of what happened after he decided to say this. A certain speaker of the House decided that she...
There's only one right now.
She wanted to say
What's your
something.
reaction to the president saying that he's now taking hydroxychloroquine?
He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So I think it's not a good idea.
Bars.
Okay.
There's a couple things here. Do you want to go first?
No, you please.
All right. I mean, the first thing is she's not wrong. Let's be honest. This nigga eats a Big Mac a day. What does he eat? What, 2 fish sandwiches and a Big Mac and a giant Diet Coke
and a Diet Coke because he's watching his figure.
So that's the first thing. Let's call it what it is. Morbidly obese is not calling someone like a fat ass or anything else like that. Morbidly obese is literally a scientific term referring to a particular makeup of body, particularly having
what's on the body scale.
What's on the body scale that your weight percentage, your body fat percentage is too high.
And technically, you can look. There are people who you will see that if you just told a doctor a certain person's height and weight, they would naturally just say...
They would know instantly.
They'll say you're morbidly obese. But the fact is, the person may not be. You can see somebody... Let's say if I told you somebody was 5'8", 245. You would naturally say morbidly obese.
That sounds morbidly obese.
Until you saw the person and they're jacked up and they're 5'8", 245. You see
which to that point is still can sometimes be dangerous because if you have that much weight, your heart having to like kind of pump and deal with all that
absolutely,
shit. You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
No, that's absolutely true. And so then you have that. But then when you look at Donald Trump, there is nothing. And this is not just saying it as somebody who don't like the orange fuck muppet. There's nothing that says he is healthy in that regard. There's nothing.
And you can even say, even without just looking at him, if you told me Donald Trump's height and weight, and then you told me what his diet is, by the simple fact that they're saying he's out here eating KFC and McDonald's almost on a daily basis, I can already tell you that he's not healthy. And if you look at what's going on, again, Nancy didn't say this as a means to be like, haha, you fat ass. That's not even remotely close to what's going on. Because let's be real. How many times has Trump actually said that shit to God knows how many different women like a piece of shit?
Directly said.
Directly to these women. So, I don't even want to hear any of that shit. But the thing is, if you notice what she said, even though she does not agree with Trump, even though she does not like Trump, she has openly said that he is the president, and I don't feel safe with an unproven drug that has had side effects for somebody in a particular type of health to be taking this drug that could take him out. If anything, that's probably the most patriotic shit she has ever said. Because she straight up was like, I'm concerned this could kill him.
And the thing is, people and his supporters will automatically jump on the, see, he's telling us it's healthy. That's why he's been healthy. First of all, I'm going to tell you this. He's not taking it. There is no way he is taking it.
Well, there's a way he's taking it, but
Well,
I doubt he is.
I get what you're saying, but I highly doubt he's saying. You know why he's pushing it? Because he is stock in the company that makes it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
It's a follow the money thing with him.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was more his ego of, I told you this works. No! Y'all not going to embarrass me.
No. He's got money in the stock that makes this. And so he uses that as the leverage because now everybody's like, see, the president said it, but we've already had people who've been admitted into the hospital with major illnesses and almost have died due to this. You even have had, because people I know are going to say, well, those are two just liberal guys living in a liberal bubble in California. You have had White House doctors go on Fox News and say literally, this will kill you. So at what point do we not invoke the 25th Amendment instead of trying to ride this shit out till January?
I mean, the true answer to that is they weren't willing to impeach him on stuff that was like a reasonable reason.
A reasonable reason?
A reasonable reason.
The reasons that we hear. The reasons that we reasonably reasons with the reasons. What was that? Was it the New Edition movie that they started singing reasons, or was it the Jackson?
No, it was. I want to say it was like The Best Man.
No, because it was a bunch of little kids singing it.
I don't remember.
I think it was a New Edition movie. It was one of the black movies.
It may have been.
I
didn't see the New Edition movie. Well, because it wasn't then readily available. I missed it when it was happening at the time, and now it's just not around. I can go find a bootleg, but there's so much goddamn TV on anyway. Like, when it comes out, because eventually it will. Someone will announce it on some sort of streaming thing. I will watch it.
They have to announce the new...
Then I'll watch it.
That means you never watched the Bobby Brown story?
No.
You didn't watch about him frying chicken and cocaine?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Bobby Brown he was so high, he fried chicken and cocaine thinking it was flour.
Oh, God. That's a good waste of cocaine. He just don't put it on chicken? What the fuck? Anyway, that's all we'll say on this story. I mean, we don't want to beat a dead horse here, but like, it's just very interesting to me. I think my favorite part was because the hashtags you got were hashtag morbidly obese. You got hashtag President Plump, which was a good one to me. And then obviously hydroxychloroquine. We're curious what you think. Obviously since we don't have the live audience, we're curious what you think about this. Like, hit us in the comments below how you feel about this kind of stuff. But we're gonna move right on to our next topic.
So I gave this dude. So I will admit, because Facebook has this beautiful thing called reminders and memories now. And they'll tell you stuff you said a year ago to the date of whatever day it is. And mine a couple of days ago brought up, man, you can't be really a dark knight if you twinkling in the shadows. I said, I'll admit, I said that. And I said that after the announcement was made that Robert Pattinson would be our new Batman. But then, after sitting, I wanted to get my Twilight joke out the way, because you knew it was going to come. But there it is, right? But then I looked at the man's filmography and started watching some of the movies he made, and I'm like, okay, this could be a great choice. Given what we've seen in other Bat Peoples, like, this could be a good choice. Well, the one thing you know about Batman and the actors who portray Batman is now, they want to work out, because there's this thing about a superhero build. You want to have this look, this feel. You want people to buy into you as the character, right? Well, Robert Pattinson, in an interview to GQ, says...
Get the exact quote. That's what I put
Oh, yeah, it's right there. Okay. Yeah. Let me make sure I pull that up. An exact quote, she says, I think if you're working out all the time, you're part of the problem.
He said this. He said this about the Matt Reeves thing in GQ's June 2020 issue. He said, "You set a precedent, and no one was doing this in the '70s. Even James Dean, he wasn't exactly ripped." Referring to him in the roles of East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause. So, all right, here's my issue with this. I got two main ones. The first one is the simple fact that, look, man, you are being paid millions of dollars to have an 8-pack. So I really don't give a shit about you not wanting
your
to do
philosophy.
You literally could just not have accepted the role. It's literally what the role is. It is literally supposed to be the portrayal of essentially fictional gods. I understand that Batman is a human, but if you look at all of his stats, he's benching shit that doesn't make sense. He's doing physical things that doesn't make sense. He's beyond. He's at max human peak. He's essentially, if you could roll the mountain and Usain Bolt into one fucking person. That's who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like that, you do not have to accept the role. Okay? Like, to me, that shit makes no sense. Like, I always like to bring up the Eddie Lacy argument. Mm-hmm. Eddie Lacy's being paid $5 to $10 million a year to play football. You're literally given an opportunity that people would kill for.
Yeah.
And your ass doesn't have it within you to go work out. Now, I bring up the fact that Zoe Kravitz also joked in her own interview to Reeves. She was like, yo, I might need you to let the cat suit out a few sizes. But then got her act together, and she's still working out 5 days a week. Now, Robert, no one's telling you that you have to, the same, like, game day shape. No one's telling you have to be putting in those same 6-hour workouts that you would be when you're actually shooting the movie. But the idea that you're not putting in some sort of work, because he said, I'm not working out at all. The fact that you're not putting in some sort of workout to sort of maintain that is wild to me. I even know of Jason Momoa, where he took his foot off the gas after they were done shooting Justice League and Aquaman.
Of course!
He didn't fully lose his physique. He's still working out. He's just not putting in game day workouts, which is fine. That's not what he said. This motherfucker said, nobody needs to be working out at all. That makes literally no sense to me.
Well, I clearly want to believe that Robert Pattinson is going for Adam West Batman at this point. And you can't go for 1966 Batman after what we've seen in that suit in those pictures. It only makes sense for Bruce Wayne to have a physique to help handle all of that he is carrying, correct? Now, you brought up Jason Momoa. I'll bring up two others. Hugh Jackman and Chris Hemsworth. Hugh Jackman, one of the main reasons he wanted to quit being Wolverine was not because he did not enjoy the role. He was tired of the workouts.
And I understand
that. He was eating steamed chicken and broccoli for 6 months and damn near nothing else. Get it. Chris Hemsworth got tired of it. All of them do, because these roles, however, but they understand. I bring these up because they understand, though, the roles that they're doing require this level of work.
Right. I will give them some credence, if there are some unhealthy things that happen, and we have heard about this, so the dehydration that you're doing, so the abs look perfect and things like that, I will excuse those things in particular. Maybe we want to look at how we can make that a little bit healthier.
Absolutely.
That's fine. But again, if you're playing a superhero, the point of these superheroes are that they are insanely in shape. So you need to at least look the part. Okay? So if you want to take out the dehydration shit, we can drop that. That's a conversation I'd love to have. But to say that you don't need to be working, come on now. I can't.
And I know some people are going to say, well, they could just make the suit make up for the muscles. Yes, but at the same time, look at actors like Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. Henry Cavill was fucking tiny until he decided to take on the role of Superman. Granted, he did not completely fill out as much as we would have loved him to.
If anything, you actually had the reverse of the body types you wanted. You would probably want a Henry Cavill body as Batman, and you kind of want the Ben Affleck body as Superman. It was kind of in reverse.
It was kind of reverse. Then you get Zachary Levi. I know he couldn't be the biggest dude possible. He knew it, but he got into some shape. To sit there and say you're part of the problem, it literally lets me know you don't take this role serious. And I know there are going to be people like, see, this is what's wrong with you comic book fans. Y'all taking it too serious. Like, no. The problem is, if you're going to go there, the precedent has been set. The precedent of what you're supposed to look like as a superhero character has been set, especially the characters that have the legacy, that have the source material. It's been set already. So to say that it's a problem. And you bringing up a James Dean and all this. What he did in the 60s and 70s, excuse me, is different from what's going on in 2020, in the 2000s alone.
And I fall back on the fact you did not have to accept this role.
You did not have to take it.
You could have said no, thank you. You wanted to be the Batman. Well, guess what happens? If you want to be the Batman, that's what it is. We wanted to be hosts and actors. Guess what that means? That we're constantly having to grind. Okay? You know? And someone wants to become a doctor. Guess what you got to do? You got to go up there and you got to study until your eyes bleed.
Yeah.
And you don't hear any of them be like, well, I don't want to study every single day. That's
I just want to cut people open.
You're setting a precedent. I mean, now, mind you, we're talking about saving people's lives here, so maybe this is apples to oranges. But if there are things that you want out of life, you just have to do it, man. Like the sad thing is, we're never gonna be offered the role of Batman, even if they got us the perfect trainers to do all the shit, and that's what we did as a living. They're not going to allow for a black Batman. Let's be real right now.
They're just not going to allow for a
black. They're not going to do it.
You know how many white supremacists? You're killing my childhood, making Bruce Wayne a darkie. How dare you make
him the real Dark Knight? But like, here's
the Dark Knight.
But that's the. Do you know how much we would kill for something like this? So like, I just don't feel sympathy, and I don't find it funny. I just, if anything, it puts me back in the mindset of like, hey, I don't think he was good for the role. I think his acting chops could do it now. So I've been convinced. I've seen his other movies, but like I just never got on board with him, and this doesn't help.
And like every actor, no matter what, and I'll go outside of superhero roles. Every actor does what is necessary to get into the role of the character in which they're playing. Samuel L. Jackson in Django. Samuel L. Jackson ain't that black. He for damn sure ain't no house nigga. But he gave you such a powerful performance that anytime any black person is ever referenced, and I know again it's a wild comparison, but anytime any black person is ever references being some house nigga or coon or whatever, guess what they always throw up? The picture of Leonardo DiCaprio as Calvin Candy and Samuel L. Jackson as Steven. When you have what's some other ones? Because I mean there's so many. Again, Chris Hemsworth in Extraction. People might have thought they were getting Thor. You expect to get this dude coming hella jacked. You got regular, I might work out sometimes, Chris Hemsworth.
Which I think is fine. If you consider the fact that he probably even said when he accepted the movie, he's like, look, you know how often I got to do this shit? I don't want to be in that kind of shit.
Because also, I understand, and that's another thing before we go forward. I get it. I understand 100-fold. It is a lifestyle change. It becomes a job 100%. Shouts out to my homie Mike Coulter who told me like, yo, he got tired of having to work out for Luke Cage. I understand it gets exhausting because you got to put in all that work on top of the work you have to put in front of the camera and
still try and live a life.
But
if you notice that while I'm sure Mike doesn't necessarily hate the idea of playing Luke again, you know how he's not necessarily a full court press to like get back in that workout for, you know what I'm saying? Like he's happy moving on to other roles.
He's happy doing that. But then again, also the big difference, and you brought it up earlier, you're being paid hundreds of millions of dollars. You're being paid millions of dollars for this role.
You're getting paid hundreds of millions, and people might go out and actually
they would literally bring torches and pitchforks to your home, sir. But you know, I digress again. Like Winston said with the earlier subject, we want to know your thoughts in the comments below because, again, this has to be a pre-taped episode. And we can go past that. Ain't shit else talk.
So he's trying to ignore the fact that I'm going to go ahead and bring up the actual thing. It's right here. So here's the thing. I was only made aware of this due to a tweet from John Roca. You may know him from Game Time that we do with him on Mondays. So Zack Snyder has...
Holy shit!
What?
Ruby Rose exits Batwoman.
All right, we're not going to talk about the Snyder Cut. We're going to talk about Ruby Rose. You want to pull up the article real quick?
Bruh!
Yeah. Okay, that's... Wow. Why are you checking your phone in the middle of the recording?
It just vibrated, and I felt it, and something in my heart said, Jay, check this. Yo!
Wow.
Okay.
It's probably your fault.
It might be.
It might be your fault.
This is from Deadline. This is a shocker. Ruby Rose, the star of CW's freshman drama series Batman, is leaving the Warner Brothers team. Batwoman, is leaving the drama after one season. The series has already been renewed for a second season and will continue with the title role getting recast. This is what Rose said in a statement, quote, I have made the very difficult decision to not return to Batwoman next season. This was not a decision I made lightly, as I have the utmost respect for the cast and crew and everyone involved in the show in both Vancouver and in Los Angeles. Okay.
So let's see.
I'm beyond appreciative to Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and Carolyn Dries for not only giving me this incredible opportunity, but welcoming me, into the DC universe they have so beautifully created. Thank you to Peter Roth and Mark Pedowitz and the teams at Warner Brothers and CW who put so much into one show and always believed in me. Thank you to everyone who made one season a success. I am truly grateful.
Season 1 instead of one season, because obviously they got another.
Season 1.
Season 1. Then neither Rose nor the Batwoman producers would speak to the reasons for the actress's exit so early into the series' life. Those sources indicated that it was not related to the stunt injury she sustained during filming of season 1, which left her facing paralysis and needing emergency surgery. Wow.
I know why. She never wanted to do this shit in the first place. I'm telling you from known fact.
You don't think so?
No. She acted like it was a nice little role, but she didn't want to commit to it. You know how we just talked about Robert Pattinson and not committing? She did not want to commit to this role.
That would be my guess, honestly. And I ironically, and that's the whole thing. I mean, I know at this point you have already obviously shot that first season and been cast at this role and stuff like that, but obviously this is a situation where you can get out. I think that you're looking at a scenario where the injury probably had something to do with it.
No, it didn't. I'm going to tell you something. The injury, my fault. Not saying nothing. I'm sorry. It probably was the straw that broke the camel's back.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that by itself was what made her decision, but maybe she didn't want to do the workouts. The injury probably didn't help. And like you said, if she didn't want to do the role in the first place...
The workout. You want to know what it is? So, here's the thing. Let me get y'all... I think I've said it on Mad Titan Podcast. You will get it here on BLERDS in the Hood. And if you follow me, you need to. Ruby Rose did not want to commit to the schedule to filming. It's not just the workouts. She doesn't really have to work out. She is naturally small. Ruby Rose did not want to commit to the schedule. She wanted to work 1 or 2 days a week. You are the lead on a television show. An hour of TV takes 8 days to film. So it's 4 days 1 week, 4 days the next. She only wanted to shoot 1 to 2 days. She did not want to do the whole thing. She was becoming, from what I've heard, a nuisance to work with on set because of her ego. So it is best in all parties considered that she is gone. Now, was I excited when they cast her? I was one of those people who were like, I know what y'all doing. Now, you know me personally. You know how much love I have for everybody at the CW and Warner Brothers. But we all know why Ruby Rose was put in that role of Kate Kane. Ruby Rose is an out-known lesbian. Kate Kane is an out lesbian as a superhero. It is a first. It was a first. Now, it's the first for television to have an out superhero as the lead. So who best to put in that than a known name, someone who has a track record behind her being Orange is the New Black? It worked. The problem is Ruby Rose's track record does not follow up well with her acting ability. And no one can deny that. You could watch episodes of Batwoman and you could see everyone else around her acting. You see her reading cue cards. And so I'm glad they're replacing her because it felt like you didn't want to be there. I'm glad they're replacing her. And everyone has said yes from the beginning. There are many other known lesbian actresses you could have put in this role, and now another one has the chance who probably wanted it in the beginning and felt that they were overshot because they're not of value as Ruby Rose is. Do I believe this will take away from the value of the show? Absolutely not. Do I believe this may help build the show? Depends on who they cast. Do I believe season 2 will look a lot different? The CW look won't change. The feel, maybe. But I definitely think that in itself is such a decision that I'm happy it happened. I'm shocked, but I'm glad it happened. And I'm sorry for having to rant about it. But this has been one of the people always ask me on Mad Titan, how come you ain't always talking about Batwoman? And I'm like, I tell you why. It's her.
I mean, it's look, I let you go for the simple fact that I got in just enough episodes so that I could understand Crisis.
That makes sense.
And the funny thing is, I fell off on all of my. Part of it is I don't like the CW's format of like you got 5 episodes, and if you don't figure it out by then, you're just kind of screwed, and you got to hope you catch it when they put it back on. Mm-hmm. That drives me crazy. I effectively have to wait until these seasons are over for me to actually watch them if I don't keep track. So that's a little bit annoying. But I found myself the minute I was like able to stop watching Batwoman, I did because it was painful to watch personally. I'm just being 100% honest.
Yeah, you gotta be.
And since for you that is even more so your brand with the Mad Titan podcast, where everything in the DC and Marvel cinematic and television universes you have to speak on, you had to keep watching it. I did not. I was more than happy.
I like how you pushed it. I was like, you had to, nigga, not me,
not me, bro, not me. So like it's one of those situations where I'm excited because this gives another actress an opportunity to shine, and I'm always about that. I think that like with these other shows, you had people that had somewhat of a name that really got a chance to go up, the Grant Gustins and the
Melissa
Benoist.
Benoist. I mean, granted, they came from Glee.
No, I know, but like at the same time, they weren't like leads. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
This was their moment to like
shine,
to take their day in the spotlight. So I'm excited to see who they put in that role to see it grow. What I will say that is getting increasingly frustrating, I am so tired of having stories set in Gotham in a live action way that are not working out.
Well, this one was somewhat, I think because they were trying to push the needle too much.
No, I understand that.
And when I say that, real quick, they did the whole Batman's been missing for 3 years. Bruce Wayne's been missing for 3 years. Ain't nobody put 2 and 2 together at all. That was the issue. That was one of the issues I had. You know, if you start doing the whole...
Because there are ways... First of all, are you aware of the fact that Batman has come up with 1 million different ways to make sure Bruce Wayne is still chilling the whole time? Like, him and Alfred have come up with so many plans.
So, yeah.
That like, they would either...
when they rented the cruise with the Russian opera.
There's stuff like that. Or you even have the fact that, like, maybe he only Zoom calls in. You know what I'm saying? So he's not missing. It's like, yo, I'm working on some great endeavor on the other side of the world. Like, those plans have been in place 1 million times. So to completely blow past that, but you can't put that on Ruby. That's
also that's Warner Brothers because you don't have full access to the character and the story. But
either way, my point is, I really hope that this means that we do get to see the show evolve and take a big step forward, because I enjoy stories in Gotham that don't center around Batman, i.e. Harley Quinn, which has been phenomenal. But we want to know what you guys think. Please tell us in the comments below.
Now we're going to go to our interview with one of the showrunners on Harley Quinn on the DC Universe. Check out our interview with Mr. Justin Halpern. The reason we are here is because if you follow me on my YouTube channel, you follow both of us as well on there. Every single week since last season, we've been recapping and reviewing Harley Quinn on the DC Universe, right? And as you can tell, we have a hell of a lot of fun with it. There's no doubt about that. But one review in particular caught the eyes of some great people, namely the showrunners of Harley Quinn, which was, I'll be honest, I was like, say what, Jesus?
All I know is I got a phone call from you, I want to say at like 2:30 in the afternoon. When I told you, I was like, bruh.
When I told you that you would always freeze up. See, I knew it was going to happen.
It's fine. If it freezes, just keep rolling. It's essentially whenever I start talking loud. For some reason, it just...
So that should let you know to not talk loud. Get your shit together.
The point was, I was out somewhere, and I was like, don't disturb me right now. And he's called me like 2-3 times in a row, like, bruh. And then I finally called him back and said, what happened? He goes, they like us, son. They like us.
So we found out that the showrunners actually watched the review and it had them cracking up laughing. And that, you know, all we want to do is talk about something we love and what we do here on BLERDS in the Hood and just make sure we have people have a great time with it. So we got the chance to have one of the showrunners here with us now, which we're going to use this one to leverage getting the other ones. And then we're going to leverage that to hopefully get the cast. I'm just letting you know in advance how it's going to go. Why lie, right? You know what I'm saying? So
look, we already talked about this, and we'll tell him when he gets in the room. Go ahead, bring him in. We'll just levy this.
Levy it all out. So we're honored to have one of the showrunners from Harley Quinn on the DC Universe app, Mr. Justin Halpern. Justin, what's happening?
What's happening, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Do you understand how giddy we've been?
No, man, we watch because like sometimes I'll scroll through and see kind of what people are saying, and then I don't know how I found the review, but maybe somebody sent it to me. I can't remember, but I started watching. Normally, I watch like probably like 30 seconds or maybe a minute of a review, just to see what people are thinking. But I was just dying. You guys were so funny. I was like dying laughing at the review. So I just watched the whole like 11 minutes. And then
that was supposed to be 20. That was supposed to have been a 20-minute review.
I know you were doing the Micro Machines guy. You were just like pumping through it. And then I sent it to the other show, my partners on the show, and I was like, you got to watch this fucking thing. And they watched it and they were dying laughing, and we sent it around to some of the other writers on the show, and everybody was laughing. And then when you were like, you want to come on this? I've never gone on one of these before, like anybody's review show before. And I was like, yes, I would love to go on this. Because you guys are funny. Like, you're actually really funny, really funny. So it's a pleasure to be on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I mean, and that's the whole thing. You guys have created an absolutely hysterical show. Like, it's and in the fact,
there goes the dog.
Agrees. The dog completely agrees. You made a great show. Woo, yes you did. But it's amazing because you're like, I would make the argument that Harley's kind of been on a hot streak, the character as a whole, for the last like 4 or 5 years. I mean, you had Suicide Squad, while not the best movie, her, like, Margot Robbie and her
being a standout
breakout, which obviously led to a follow-up in Birds of Prey. You know, you had Batman and Harley Quinn happen, the animated movie, a little while ago. And even just recently in Justice League Dark, you know, she like had her own kind of standout stuff going on. So is that what kind of spurred the show on, or is this a character that you've always loved and you're just like, I just want to make a show about it?
You know, it's funny. We had this. So this shows you how long animation takes. We pitched this show in 2016. Yeah.
Damn.
And we had just been working on another show, and Warner, but we're under contract to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers called us up one day and was basically like, look, we know we want to do an animated R-rated DC show, but we don't know what, you know, when we think something we'd love to do it with Harley, and can you come in and pitch a take? And we were like, fuck yes, we will definitely do that. You know, because like, we're pretty low on the totem pole of Warner Brothers deals. Like, they got J.J. Abrams and they got like Nolan and all. So like, by the time a call gets to us, it's usually not like the choicest shit.
Right. It's been filtered on down.
Yeah, it's like, you know, everybody else said no. But for we're some of the younger guys on deals there, so they wanted this show to feel young, and so we were basically like, look, our take is like, we want to do a breakup show. Like, we don't want we want a show to be about, like, when you're dating a piece of shit, it's pretty hard to like figure out what you're going to do once you stop dating that piece of shit. And that was our take for it. It was like, what if we do like Mary Tyler Moore, but she's a killer, you know? And that was our pitch. And so, you know, we loved my writing partner, Patrick, who you should definitely have on.
You already heard this earlier. Listen, so since we got you on, we want you to be like, hey, these guys are actually really funny in real life. And so you should come on.
Oh yeah, he would love to. He's great. He is like a comic book like freak. Like he has, you know, like, he's steeped in that shit since he was a little kid. So he was just like so geeked up to do it. And, you know, I wasn't like I loved BTAS and I loved the X-Men cartoon, and The Simpsons is like my Bible basically. So I was like, look, I would love to do an R-rated animated show. Most of the stuff that we had done had been just network TV, where like, you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things. So the chance to do something R-rated, I was like, yes, let me do this. And so from there, we just like, you know, we came up with a pitch, and then we basically like called all of our friends who are comedians and actors that we've worked with before, and we're like, can you come do voices on this? Like Chris Maloney and Ron Funches. And
I was just about to ask about Ron, because Ron worked on Powerless just as much as you did. So I figured that was the connection with the two of you guys.
Yeah, and Alan Tudyk, who was on
Powerless. And Alan Tudyk, who he played, what was it, Van Wayne or something like that?
Van Wayne, yeah. And so I remember too, because for everybody else, we had really like broken out these characters. And so by the time I went to the actors, I was like, look, here's the character. This is exactly what it is. Here's the backstory. Here's this, here's that. Here's our take on it. With Ron, I was like, Ron, you want to play a killer shark? He was like, yes, I do.
Let me ask about that real quick. And like you said, how did you guys go about the takes with these characters? Like Poison Ivy being about the environment, but she like, yo, I just want to be happy. King Shark being a tech nerd who we've said this and we want to know if it's true. King Shark is an allegory for black nerds in real life.
I think that's pretty true. I think that is like, I mean, I have to give a lot of credit to Ron because that was like kind of Ron's. That's like, you guys should definitely have Ron on. He's fantastic. But Ron, that was what Ron wanted to bring to it. So in a lot of these, we kind of like created the character and then the actors came in and did their takes on it. And we kind of like moved it towards that. This one, we were kind of like, Ron, just like do what you want to do and we'll mold it to that. Because Ron's such a specific performer, you know? And that was Ron wanted to bring the like black nerd take to it. And I think, he does such a good job. He's so funny.
Which and it's funny just because like I didn't realize like I knew like of your book Shit My Dad Says. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is absolutely hilarious to me. I didn't realize that you had also written on Cougar Town.
Yeah. So I had my career's been kind of weird. So I had Shit My Dad Says was just like, this thing that blew up on the internet that I didn't really even kind of plan for it to do. And then I wrote a book and the book did really well. And then it got turned into a really bad TV show. But from there I was like, we weren't the showrunners of that show, but we got to be staffed on it. And I was like, look, the show sucks, but I'm going to like put my head down and we're going to work as hard as we can work. And so that we can like build a career, like I got to keep working after this piece of shit goes down, So we just kept working and we kept getting hired on other shows. And then we got hooked up with this guy, Bill Lawrence, who created like Scrubs. He created Cougar Town. And we had this idea for a show that we wanted. I'd written another book and I wanted to turn it into a show, but we needed like kind of like somebody to executive produce it. And so we came to Bill Lawrence and Bill was like, look, work a year on Cougar Town. Let me like feel you guys out. And if it works out well, I'll executive produce this next show for you. So that's what we did. We spent a year on Cougar Town and then we created the show that got on Fox called Surviving Jack with Chris Maloney, which is how Chris Maloney's in as Gordon. And I think, Jay, to go back to your earlier question, like, I think our feeling on the takes of these characters were like, the whole idea of our pitch was like, what are supervillains like in the in-between moments, right? Like when you're watching a Batman movie, like shit's heightened. They're in the middle of a heist. They're fucking bringing down Bane. They're doing all this kind of shit, but like they still got to eat. They still got to like hang out. Like shit can't be at a 10 all the time. Like you got to like... you gotta relax. And so we were like, Poison Ivy's protecting the environment, but when she's not, she's probably just like, everybody needs to leave me the fuck alone. Like, I just want to like chill out, And so we kind of looked at it as like, what are these comedic points of view during the downtime? And that's going to be our take on the show.
Okay. I mean, it's one of the things that I appreciate is that I think our favorite moments from the, in general, but really from season 1 and season 2 are these Legion of Doom or this Injustice League like type situations where they all make fun of Bane because he's an idiot, or that like
what made that happen? What made like I've done a certain thing, but well, I'd like to do the Bane voice. What made you guys decide to make Bane this way?
So we were like, that was the hardest one to crack. We were like, we knew we wanted Bane in the show because we had this character designer named Shane Glines who did a lot of actually like the artwork on the original Batman the Animated Series. And we were like asking him to draw up characters, and he drew the Bane that you see now. He drew him up and he was like, I don't know, Bane seems like the kind of dude who doesn't work out his legs. Like he just like he does like chest and back day, but he doesn't do leg day. And I was like, that's perfect. It's exactly a fun. And so we took that and then we started thinking about it. And we were like, we had so many actors come in and read for Bane and like try to do Banes. and we just couldn't like get it. We couldn't figure it out. And then James Adomian, who's a stand-up.
I know James. As a stand-up, I know James. James is
Yeah.
hilarious.
James is a brilliant voice actor. And James came in and he wanted to do this take on the Hardy Bane, but he was like, anybody who talks like that would get like made fun of a lot while they were growing up. And they'd be like a little sensitive and soft, you know, of like their feelings could get hurt. And he was like, I want to do this take on Bane that's like this like thoughtful, his feelings get hurt a lot, and he's just like a little bit of an emo Bane. And honestly, James just like ran with it. Like most of the show is pretty scripted, but we allow people to then play within the like world of the script. And James is like a brilliant improviser, so he will add so many little things. Like, do you remember the scene where it's at the end of an episode where Bane is cutting up Joshua's credit card? Because
yes, remember that?
Right?
Yeah,
yeah, that's just like James going off for like a minute. Like,
you have to be responsible with these things.
Yeah. He takes out his little glasses and he's like, yeah.
I mean,
so.
And that's the cool balance about it, is the fact that like you are still seeing them at their nature. So if you notice, like Bane only hits the juice like when he's like genuinely pissed off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's roided out, sees red Bane, but otherwise he's just fully like, this is who he is, which if anything is and I guess that's exactly what he was going for. What you guys are going for is it's humanizing the hell out of these people.
Bane drives a Volvo. Listen, I will never get past this. I will never get past. I will never get the fact when he was like, I think I need to move my Volvo. I was like, what? Also, when you bring up James Adomian, you guys have had some amazing celebrities on there. One of my favorite ones was Wanda Sykes as the Queen of Fables. Man. How did that one come about?
So that was great because we knew we wanted to have somebody on the show that was like, we knew we wanted to get to a point in the series where we talked about like, what does it mean to be evil and what's like real bad versus like being a bad person, right? Yeah. So we wanted to have a character that was like so fucking far, like so vile and evil. And we were trying to think of like, we were just trying to think of like guest actors that we felt could like really, really do it. And somebody pitched Wanda in the writer's room, and I'm just a huge fan of hers. Like, I think she's just so funny, and I think she's just like really underrated. Like, I think, you know, like all of us who, you know, like live in this business, you know, we all know that Wanda's great. So we were just like, we pitched her. We were like, look, this is the character, you know, would you be interested in doing it? And here's kind of where we're taking it. And Wanda was like 100%. Like, she was like, let me get in there and do it. And I think also like we have had a bunch of stand-ups on the show. Like, there's so many stand-ups with voices on the show. And Wanda knows all those stand-ups because she's been doing stand-up forever. So I think she looked at the cast list and was like, I know a lot of these motherfuckers. Like, I'll do the show. And so she did it. And then when we talked to her about it, we kind of were like, hey, you know, in what we want to take this in this direction. We want Queen of Fables to be this like really evil, bad motherfucker. And she started to bring her own stuff to it. And I think that's part of our pitch to these actors is like, we're not like, hey, here are the lines. This is the character. Say this shit exactly how it is. We're like, here's what we're thinking. These are kind of the areas that we want to go. Like, what do you want to bring to it? Or if they're just like, hey, I want to say the lines, then great, we'll do that too. But with somebody like Wanda, who's just so like brilliant, we can kind of bring it to her and be like, hey, here's kind of what we're doing. And then she'll add whatever she wants to add to it. And that's our pitch to them is like, you can have fun with this. You can do this, no makeup on, you walk into a booth and you fuck around for 2 hours and then you leave, you know?
I want to also talk about another big thing that I think it was on our review. And I saw you've done some a little bit of talking about it. The shooting at the trolls. I've gotta ask, what made you decide to just say we're gonna have two dudes who are the epitome of what most internet trolls are one with the Release the Snyder Cut shirt and the other with the Last Jedi is not canon shirt. How does what? I mean, I understand seeing the internet in itself can make you say, "Oh yeah, we need to talk about these motherfuckers." I can see that, but what was the thought process behind it?
All right, so here's the like legit real story behind this.
Okay.
So we made this whole show before it was released. So like we even made the second season before the first season was released. We were working because it was a 2-season order.
Mhm.
So we were just like, this show is way different than anything else DC has done. We were convinced that it was going to come out and some people were going to like it, but a lot of people were going to hate it. Like we just thought like it was going to piss a lot of people off because you're fucking with Batman. You're fucking with all these people that people grew up on. Right. And we were trying to we were really making this effort to make it an homage, but make it its own thing. But this just hadn't been this just hadn't been the DC thing. So we were convinced a bunch of people were going to talk shit about it. So we were like, oh, what would be funny is some episode in the second season, this will be kind of like our fuck you to everybody who we're sure is talking a ton of shit about it.
I mean,
and so we preemptively did this thing, right? But then the show came out and people really liked it, and nobody was really talking any shit about it. And so we're like halfway through production of this thing, and then we start to get real cold feet. Like we're like, fuck, like this had a really good reception, and now we're gonna fucking shit on all these people who didn't even say anything bad about the show. So and then we were like, well, at the end we said, they're wearing the Last Jedi is not canon and the Release the Snyder Cut thing. And we were sure that DC was going to be like, no, you can't do that. Through every stage of the process, it made it through the script process. But I was like, well, once they see the animatic for it, which is the early version of animation, then they'll say no. And we were kind of just doing it as a joke to each other, to me and Patrick. Patrick wrote that whole scene by himself, and he was like, it was just a joke between us. And then it just kept going. It kept nobody was saying no. And then we were like, okay. And then we got the animation back from Korea, and we had actually forgotten that they were wearing those shirts. And so then when we got it back, we're like, fuck, maybe we should nobody's talking any shit about the show. We should take this shit off of their shirts. And Warner Brothers was like, this is too late. Shit's shipped. It's been drawn. We're not taking it off. What do you do? And so we're freaking out at this point. This is a few weeks before it's going to air. And then we get a message, because we send it out, it gets sent out, the next episode gets sent out to critics the week before. And
yeah, because that's how I get them. I'm about to start watching 8 right now.
Right. Okay. So then the first Pat gets a direct message on his Twitter that's basically saying hey, this is really fucked up. And from somebody who saw it early, and we're like, oh no, this person's probably right. This is fucked up. It's gonna fucking piss people off. It's gonna go crazy. So we're scrambling. We're on the phone with Warner Brothers, being can you pixelate the shirts? Can you can you do whatever? Should we just lop off the endings, right? And then finally, I said to Pat, I was because he's the super comic book guy. I was like, look, dude, people can either take a joke, or they can't take a joke. And if they can't take a joke, fuck them. What do you want to do? People make fun of fucking bald Jewy writers all the time. I can take the joke, so we were let's just leave it on. And, and we left it on. And to the credit of the Release of Snyder Cut people, the Last Jedi people were less happy, but the Snyder Cut people were they loved it. They just wanted to be seen and heard, and they took it really really well.
Now that character is actually their idol, who they
that
worship.
Or better yet, that character is now canon. He's now canon. See, there's a guy who believes us. They put him in his dude. Because
go ahead, Jake.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but it's funny because certain things, we already loved the show, but I feel the only reason that you then saw that ridiculous review of ours is because it was on that particular episode. And I also, I mean, I don't know if you had heard the story. That was the third time we had done the review. So
I saw the thing. You're like, we recorded this 2 other times.
And it just didn't work out. And that's why I was like, I got a place to be, son. We're going to get through this shit right now.
And then the next, I don't know if you saw the one we did afterwards. So we record our live show, BLERDS in the Hood, the same day we do the reviews. And so he was already exhausted when he came over to my house to record the review. So I was like, let me give you a coffee. And I have an espresso machine. He was like, man, this coffee ain't going to work. I'm like, trust me, this is going to work. If you watch the review, you can see the coffee kick in. You can see where it hits the point where his body is like, let's do this shit right now.
There was the point where it was like, did you give me cocaine? Like, what the fuck is this? I don't understand why they're like, come on, man. We just got to get to this review. Like,
I tried to take the cup from him. I was like, let me go get it. He was like, don't you touch my cup. I was like, oh, okay. But no, like, I think it's like it's really great what you all have done. And one of the other things I want to say before we get ready to let you go, you all have had on top of Wanda Sykes some amazing celebrity cameos. Sanaa Lathan as Catwoman, Alfred Molina as Mr. Freeze, Giancarlo Esposito as Lex Luthor did it for me.
And Lucius Fox.
And as Lucius Fox. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, yo, and also Tisha Campbell-Martin as Tawny. I don't think it could have been anybody else.
That is my best. That's, to me, that's one of the favorite little, because the whole show gives little digs at all sorts of random stuff. That little kind of dig at Wendy Williams.
Yep.
Kills me.
That is all Tisha, because again, that was a thing where like one of the guy we co-created with, Dean Laurie, Dean had worked a long time ago on a show called My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans.
With Tisha as well,
with Tisha as well. And so he was just like, Tisha, do you want to do this? And then Tisha was like, I don't know if she explicitly said this, but it's so obvious she's doing Wendy Williams, you know, like that's.
It's besides obvious she's doing Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make it better is that the next time we see Tawny, if you end up, I don't know if you've been peeping Wendy now, either through John Oliver on Last Week Tonight or just watching her show. It's her in her office hollering for her cats who never respond to her, and her being like, hey y'all, don't worry about that. That's my fire alarm. It needs new batteries, but we're not worried about that. And it's like, it's doing that so you can save yourself, woman. Like, what are you doing?
Which, by the way, before we go any further, we need to acknowledge the fact that Winston is regularly watching Wendy Williams. Okay, we needed to say you have made sure to put that in your mental Rolodex about what Wendy. Don't you give me the John Oliver. Don't you give me the John Oliver excuse.
Real talk, bro. I don't know if y'all don't watch Last Week Tonight. He does a whole segment on this nasty shit she eats, like caviar and like poached eggs, and like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and like
can we stop? Like, that's disgusting. Can we not discuss this? Why would you want to keep stop? Don't bring up no more. But listen, we know we got to let you go because you got to get back to the dog who was barking, and the kids eventually who are gonna be like, "Where's my daddy?" Man, we want to thank you, Justin, seriously, for taking time out to come talk with us here on the show. And man, we definitely love everything you all are doing on the show, everything that you all have done. It is amazing. We want you guys to keep going. And we also had an idea. We wanted to pitch, if it's cool.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Real simple. Just
Real
like
simple.
You had at the start of the Freeze episode when they were talking about the gun, if you had two random goons that get murdered that just want to talk shit for a second, we can come in and talk.
We can talk shit as random goons.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I absolutely like that idea.
Be like, yo, you see this bullshit? This ain't even insulated as good. You know what I'm saying? My nipples are cold. What the hell is wrong with them?
Hey, man, don't you know that you ain't never supposed to have no black goons out in the Arctic? Like,
we guaranteed they're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Where's the HR for goons? Like, who do we talk to? Where's the affirmative action for the goons? Like, we feel we could do that.
I feel like you should do that too. I like that idea.
But before we let you go, Justin, please tell the people if they want to talk to you, tell you congratulations, give you praise, or even their thoughts on the work, how they can find you.
I first off, I just appreciate you guys having us on, and it really I loved your guys' review, and I feel like, you know, when you make stuff to see people who like it inspires to do their own funny stuff, I think is kind of like the best reception you could possibly get. So we really appreciated it. Yeah, and if people want to, the show is airing on Sci-Fi now. The first season is.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a Sci-Fi Sunday nights. I think it's and then season 2 is airing on DC Universe, and you can do a 7-day free trial. If you're like, maybe I don't want to shell out $7.99 a month before checking out what's on that service. You can see it there. You can find me at Justin_Halpern. And honestly, like, I am somebody who I really like to hear from people who've watched the show, man. I'm not one of those people who like make something and then I'm like, I don't read reviews. I don't look at anything. Like I make it because I want to like have this discourse with people and see what they think. Even if sometimes people will like write to me and they're like, they don't like something about it, or I like to hear it. So, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. And I really appreciate you guys talking about the show.
Of course, man. We'll rep it to death. And I've told people that, this show, in my opinion, was the best show, like top 3, if not number 1 on TV last year.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That really means a lot.
Because what it did was it took your normal characters, and we're used to seeing animation already, but to not even just the rated R twist, it's the real life element behind it.
That I'm glad you said that, because that was really like the pitch for the show. That was like, let's see what these people's real lives are like and what the emotions of a day to day in one of these people's lives sound like, and feel like. And so I think, the fact that you guys are responding to it and people seem to really be responding to it is really gratifying for us, because I know it was a hard sell to Warner's at first, because it made them really nervous. Like, Harley's a big, huge property for them. And I remember, like, we had, if I'm going too long, stop me. But
no.
We had this meeting when we were first kind of like coming up with the show. And we were like, breaking the stories and breaking the world. They had us meet with Margot Robbie because Margot was doing Birds of Prey. It was like in the very, like, it was in its infancy. Like,
okay.
And Margot wanted to meet with us only because she wanted to know what we were doing, because she was doing something there too. And just to like, I remember where I'm sitting in this meeting and Margot's there, and Jeff Johns, who at the time was the head of DC, was there, and the head of Warner Brothers is there. And we're all like sitting there in this meeting, and Margot's like, pitch me what you're doing. And first of all, she's like, in like a $5,000 Versace suit. She'd just come from doing press for I, Tonya. So she looks like not even a human being. And I look like this. And it felt like, like Game of Thrones, and somebody like some like peasant approaches the like queen. And so I was like, look, this is what we're doing. It's about her like breaking up and having her own, world and figuring out like who she is and what she wants to do. And Margot turns to Jeff Johns and she's like, that's what we're doing. And it like, is it the same? And Jeff was like, look, he had read the first script that we had written, and he was like, trust me, it is like not, it's like way different. But everybody was super nervous. And because that, we're a little tiny cartoon. That's a big fucking movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't want us to fuck up something for them. But to their credit, like DC just was like, you know what, do your thing, like do it and make it funny and go balls out, and we'll support you guys. And they really did, like, and Harley is a big piece of business for them. It's like one of their biggest characters. So the fact that they let this show even happen is kind of mind-blowing to me. We would always turn in these scripts and be like, there's no fucking way they're going to let us do this. Like, they're not going to let us, tell a finger banging joke at the end of an episode. They're not, they're not going to let us to do this. They're not going to let us make Bane like this. They're not going to let us like do any of this stuff. And again, to their credit, they were like, you're your own universe. Like, go do it. So I
got one last thing I have to ask, and I'd be remiss if we do not ask this question. Harley and Ivy's relationship.
Bro, we're about to watch the next episode. Why don't you just wait?
Okay, I'll step away from the microphone then.
Go ahead. Just get out. Go ahead.
No. You want to?
Go ahead.
I asked already. I just was. You know what? Never mind. We just gonna let it be with Kite Man. Hell yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we get this, we get that question a lot. I think one of the benefits to having done this show in its entirety before even the first season came out is I don't think we fully understood how quickly people wanted Harley and Ivy to get together. Like people wanted that shit to happen like right away.
Yeah.
And for us, like that was always kind of the end game. Like that's where we wanted to go. But like, I don't know how you tell a breakup story where somebody's trying to discover their identity and what they actually want if you just get them back into a relationship right away. You know, like they just got out of one toxic relationship. You're just going to have them jump into the relationship that works right after. Like, when does that ever happen? It never happens. So for us, we were like, season 1, we're not going to have her date anybody. Like Harley. We're not going to have Harley date anybody. And we're going to have her figure out who she is. And then with Ivy in season 1, we were like, look, like our version of Ivy has like a lot of social anxiety. She hasn't even had any relationships, platonic or otherwise, with human beings at all. And Harley's going to start to open her up just to like being around people for the first season, right? But what happens when you have a lot of social anxiety and you're like kind of a little bit self-loathing and you have some self-esteem issues, like you don't always date the right person for you. You date the person who's maybe nicest to you right away. And so that was our take. It's like, first season, Ivy's going to get in a relationship with Kite Man because he's going to fucking adore her, you know? And so I think we wanted this to be like a really slow burn. Our take from the start, we had this like mantra, which is like, life is messy, relationships are messy, the show is going to be messy. Like we're not going to have a clear, like, you know, A to B to C. Even now, in the most recent episode, I won't spoil it, but in the most recent episode, some stuff happens. And I got all these messages already on Twitter being like, you did it for us. Thank you. And it's like, dude, this is a show about, and shows need conflict and things are messy. Like, there's gonna be some downs coming too. Like, you're gonna be yelling at me in 2 episodes.
I'm
you know,
so sad for Kite Man and nothing has even happened yet. I just like that's my boy. Like, probably my 2 favorite characters are King Shark and Kite Man, and he's about to just be crushed.
I want Kite Man to pitch this threesome. Like, hey, lady, Kite Man has to pitch the threesome. Like, listen.
I don't know if you're a big Friends dude, but I feel like this is the what if episode of Friends where Ross gets in the threesome with his ex-wife. And then he's like, yeah, you know, there was a lot of watching. I was just kind of in the back, just like
it was just me and my kite. Like me and my kite.
Kite Man would get into a threesome where Kite Man actually didn't do anything the entire threesome. 100%.
We got ideas now, but seriously, Justin, thank you so much for this, man. We appreciate you so much, and we're about to go live, y'all. So stay right here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh man, wow, we're hilarious. I was just saying, like, we're so funny. Did we ask him the question in the interview, or was that after we cut? I don't remember.
About the
thing.
About the thing with us?
Yeah. Was it after? I got Booker. That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
I think we asked them both. I think we did both.
Maybe. I won't talk about it just in case we didn't. But I hope y'all enjoyed that, because he was a pleasure to talk to, and it's clear that they really know what they're doing with that show. And I love the fact that they were panicked about having to talk trash about the.
They were nervous about the troll thing, and again, to hear the troll community somewhat played fair and played along with it is cool. But here's the thing we want to tell you here on this one. We will have another interview coming up next, and we might not be able to integrate that one into the show, just to be on the safe side. I don't know.
I think what we'll do is we will probably do our regular streaming, because I think maybe that was part of the problem. We'll do our regular streaming, and then we'll just say, hey, and here's the interview right after. Maybe we'll play a snippet. We can play a snippet in the streaming,
and then we'll go.
And then we'll put the whole interview.
What the interview will be is with the other 2 members, the other 2 showrunners of Harley Quinn, Mr. Patrick Shoemaker and Dean LeRae. We're going to be talking to them as well, so you guys want to stay tuned here on the BLERDS N THE HOOD channel. Thank you to everyone who sticks by us throughout all of this. It means so much.
It really does. And look, I will tell you this: it's not going to be like this forever. Okay, there's gonna be a day when you're like, damn, you remember when they were like essentially doing this shit out their basement and trying to make it work and it didn't work and Jay would cry and Winston was over here eating salad on camera and all sorts of shit. It's not gonna be a thing forever.
You still gonna be eating salad on camera if we get a big show. I know you
No, I
will.
won't. I will whenever I'm feeling very Karen. You know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling my most Karen, I'll probably be like,
But we appreciate y'all. Listen, make sure you are subscribing to the channel here. We can no longer stream on Facebook because fuck Jukin Media because they are on BS. So, but like the Facebook page over there. Follow the both of us on our social medias. It's right there. No need to go through all that. All right. Follow us on that. We'll holler at y'all next week. Take care. We out of here. Oh yeah, the Patreons are right up there. All right. We out. Bye.